Hello and welcome to the Talk Tonight podcast. Today I'm joined by Ewood. Ewood, can you tell me how your single "I Don't Know" came about?
Well, it's about um, me losing my voice, struggling with the death of my brother, breaking up with my girlfriend, um, injuring my knee, so I could not dance anymore, and also singing was very difficult. So it was a very dark time for me, and I was just trying to express how I felt. And when people were asking me, "Oh, Ewood, how are you?" And I remember I was saying, "Well, I don't know. I don't know how I feel." And this is exactly what I said in the song because at that point I was so, yes, I was so depressed and I didn't know how to express it. And just doing writing that song make just gave me a way to express myself because at that time I was just unable to do that. And also, I just want to give to maybe people listening to us or all around, people buying my music. Like sometimes you go through a very difficult time in your life, but you need to carry on and just fight for your life. And this is what I've done. I at some point I felt I will never be able to sing again, never be able to dance again. But here I am, singing
Mm.
again and dancing again. So it was more about telling my journey and what happened to me and how I managed to stay strong and to carry on. So that was the message of the song.
Well, it is I listened to it a few times, and it is a really beautiful song. It's really well written, and it's
Well,
like a
thank you.
nice, yeah, like you said. Like obviously, didn't know what it was about before then, and yeah, you can see that the deeper meaning is there. Like, I always thought it was deep, but it is really deep. So, what are your like musical influences? Like, who like inspire you to go that sort of musical direction?
Well, there is a lot of people that I listened to growing up, so Michael Jackson is one of
Mm.
my biggest inspiration. Um, oh my, there is so many people. So let's try to focus. Michael Jackson, Janet, who else? Michael Jackson, Janet, Prince, Usher, uh, Adele, uh, so many people.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars.
Mm.
Um, who else? Who else? Who else? And then also there was people from 80s, the 90s. So more like uh, Annie Lennox, Steve Wonder, George Michael. Yeah. So there was a lot of people. And the idea is just to, I've been influenced by a lot of people, but just to find my own sound, just to find. So when I try to define my sound, I will say it's more pop music, but with many influences, R&B, soul, folk music, it's really a mix of everything.
Yeah, you definitely tell that like you just listed all your influences. You can definitely tell like that they're in there. Like that's the type of music you like listen to. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice, beautiful song. Yeah, really enjoyed it
Well,
when I listened to it.
well, thank you.
That's
Thank you.
all right. So your plans for like the future in music wise, what are they be to write a couple more songs, get an EP out, or just see how it
Yeah,
goes?
well, the idea right now is really I'm working on the album,
Mm.
it's almost done.
Amazing.
Um, Prior to the pandemic, I was supposed to perform in London,
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to perform in London in May and then to go on tour in the UK.
Mm.
But because of the virus, everything has been like canceled or rescheduled. So as we're talking right now, I don't know yet when I will be able to perform in
Yeah.
London
Can
and
imagine
to
that's
present.
that's really gutting, isn't it, as an artist, and like to be able to like not go out and show off your talent and your music.
Yeah,
It's probably really
yeah.
heartbreaking.
It was very difficult because everything was planned in advance, and I have a team around me, my musicians, so the
Mm.
band, the dancers, the stage designer, everyone. So we were just, all of us were very, very sad about what was happening.
Mm.
But I really hope, like, soon we'll be able to announce new dates, and I will be able to meet people and just to present my music, because for now they just had just the first single, but I'm a trained dancer, so
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of up-tempo beats, up-tempo songs, in the album. So it's not going to be, so my album is not going to be, everything is not going to sound like my first single called I Don't Know. It's going
Yeah.
to be very, very up-tempo, songs, and I'm going to dance a lot on stage. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to perform again, to release new music as well.
Mm.
And that's the plan, really. And so far, I received so many messages on social media, from fans and from people who just discover my music, and how they were touched by my song, and how by my voice and what I was, singing in my song. So it's been a great journey, to that my music been, well received by people. So yeah, just trying to perform
Mm.
as soon as possible and to finish the album. That's the
Amazing. Like, so you've been mentioning every song is a bit different on the album, which I think is it's quite an important thing because you don't want things to sound the same. Like, you want things for different emotion. Did you have that in your mind when you were writing the album that no, I don't want it to be like my single. I just want it, that one like that, and that one just go that direction. So like in the future, you don't have to stick to a specific path. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, that's exactly what was happening. It was just um, because I've been influenced by different type of artists, from pop to R&B to soul, and I knew that my album would sound um, with different type of sound, and also I'm presenting the album. It's a journey, because when I decided that I want to release my first single, like I don't know, because it was for me to introduce myself, to let people know, okay, so this is me, my name is Ewood, and this is what happened to me. And it was like to introduce myself. So I see the album like it's a journey. I
Mm.
know that the first song in the album it's I don't know, because it's like it's a story,
Yeah,
and that's why at the end of the music video you can see to be continued, because there is going to be uh, another story that I'm going to tell, because
yeah,
it's really a journey, and I feel it's going to uh, be good to all the men in the UK, because I'm just telling my story. It's the story of a man who have a lot of experiences. I'm talking about everything from friendship, being in love, um, bad bad relationship, not having good friends, all that stuff. I think life in general, and I feel like there is a lot of people who can relate to
mm.
what I'm going to tell in the album. So yeah.
Yeah. That's good. So it's kind of like a concept album, so to speak.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
really
it's good.
a lot of visuals. Yeah,
Mm.
it's very important to me. Like the music video, we worked very hard for the first single because I wanted something special, and it's going to be the same for the rest
Yeah.
of the music that I'm going to release, because it's very important to give people something with a story, and
Mm.
just explain what I was trying to say. And I guess with the music video, people now understand more about who I am and what I was trying to explain.
Yeah. that's important, isn't it? To like get your like message out there. And
Yeah,
speaking of that, as well as writing an album, it's not the only thing you've been doing. You've been doing a documentary based
yeah.
upon mental health. So explain why and how you decided to do that.
Well, the thing is, I realized that mental health it's still taboo in the society. It's
Mm,
like the number of people taking their own lives in the UK is just it's crazy, especially us men.
mm,
And I think we need to have a real conversation because as we're talking right now, I still feel there is not a real conversation. And let me just explain a little bit what I'm trying to say by that is that do you remember a few months ago, Caroline Flack, she took her own life.
yeah.
And for maybe, let's say, a week or 2 weeks, they were talking about her in the news, oh, yeah, she took her own life. We have to speak about mental health. And then after that, everything was gone.
Mm,
And I just feel when in the media or, some shows, when they want to talk about mental health, it's more when someone took their lives. It's not really like, I think it has to be an everyday subject. It has to be, for example, when you wake up in the morning and you have breakfast with your parents, we need to be in a place where we can speak about mental health the same way we speak about the weather.
mm,
When you have a conversation and you say to your dad or your mom, and you say, or maybe your mom or your daddy is asking you, okay, how is your mental health today? How do you feel? I think when we will be able to do that is going to be a huge start to a real change. Because for now, I just feel we only speak about mental health when there is someone taking his own life, or maybe, for example, right now we are going through the lockdown, and so people
mm,
realize, oh yeah, it's difficult. But I feel I wanted to find a way to be part of the conversation and for all of us to start a real conversation. And that's why I was thinking, okay, what can I do to make a real change? And I was thinking, okay, well, let's do a documentary. And also in my personal life, I lost one of my brothers. He took his own life, so it's something very close to my heart. um, but I just want to be very clear. It's not going to be a documentary about me or my brother. I'm going to be the narrator in the documentary. I'm going to interview people who went through, I have like so far, I have 5 people, and I'm looking for more people to be involved in the documentary. But I have someone who went through depression. I have someone who tried to take his own life. I have someone who went through, to, she was bullied at school. Someone who went through, she was in a very bad relationship. All that stuff. And I'm just asking people if they can donate and whatever they can, because I know it's not easy right now. Just to be part of this documentary, because I think the more people we are, and the more impact is going to be with that documentary. So I'm asking people to donate, to share the link, and the name of the documentary, it's I don't know how I feel. That's the name of the documentary. So if
mm.
you go on GoFundMe and you looking for, and you put I don't know how I feel, Ewood, you will find the link of the documentary. And I'm really asking people if they can donate, because to be honest, I'm struggling to have a real support and people to donate. And I understand, once again, it's not easy right now, but this is something very important. Mental health, it's something very important. So I'm asking people if they, you know, can donate and do something, because
Yeah,
I really need support.
yeah, I get that. I'll share it on all our pages and that, so it gets out there because like I've struggled a bit,
Yeah,
like for a few years, and yeah, it's such a dark place to be in. and I
Yeah, it is.
wouldn't wish it on anyone else because it is horrible.
Yeah,
There's 1 minute, like 1 minute you'll just be like fine, like sort of content, and the next thing you're just at your lowest and you don't know and you can't see where it's going to get better.
yeah,
And like the only thing I could say is you just got to keep going
yeah.
because
That's
things do turn around.
yeah, and
Like,
that's what I yeah, and that's what I really want to do. You know, to raise awareness and also us men. It's I think it's even more difficult for us, because the society, raise us in a way. Oh no, you're not allowed to show
cry.
your emotions. You're not allowed to cry. You're not a
Mm,
real man. A real man don't cry.
yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And if you want to open up just a little bit, then you will have some people telling you, "Oh, just man up. Don't be a pussy."
Mm,
Those kind of stuff. And I just things need to change because there is nothing wrong to express your emotions. There
yeah.
is nothing wrong to say, "Well, I'm going through something right now, and I need help."
Mm,
And we need to be in a place where everyone is going to be comfortable to express themselves without being afraid, to be judged or anything else.
I know what you mean. Like it's like when I was struggling, I didn't tell my parents or anything.
Yeah,
So when I told them, it was like a huge weight was lifted. And then I like so they know, and I could tell other people like my mates and stuff, and then it sort of gets a bit easier because people understand it, or like
yeah,
try to understand and try and help you, or try and make things better for you in your life.
yeah,
Like it doesn't matter what walk of life you have, because you could have money, your relationship could be perfect, but or something like nothing could be going wrong, but if you're like sometimes your mental health would just be like nah, don't don't want to do it then, and it's really sad. It can happen to like the best of people, and like people are really good at hiding their emotions as well.
yeah,
So like you could be like to your mates, "Oh, how are you?" and they're like, "Oh, I'm all right," but are they
yeah,
actually all right? That's the thing, and I think you just got to keep like pressing them to like open up. Like I know it could be annoying from their perspective, but I think if someone knows that someone's there for them, it's a lot more easier.
yeah. I totally agree,
Mm,
and really, I feel it's a blessing, to have people like you and other people like using their platform to raise awareness about mental health.
mm,
So I was thrilled when you invite me on your
yeah.
platform to speak about that because this is something that I feel it's needs to be the priority in the society right now. And I think there are some people who in the past underestimate mental health. But what we're going through right now with the lockdown, I think some of them now realize, oh well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe those people were trying to raise awareness about mental health, they were right, because right now I realize how we are going through a very tough time, all around the world, and your mental health is the key to find, I think, to be in a good place. You need to be able to open up without being afraid, because I feel
Mm.
like it's most of the time it's you're afraid to be judged, and that's what I really am trying to do. Once again, I'm not a specialist in a way. Like, I'm with the documentary, I'm not trying to tell people what they're supposed to do. I'm just trying to op- to open a conversation and say, okay guys, I'm going to interview different type of people coming from different backgrounds,
Mm.
but they all suffer from mental health. And we, us, all of us together, we have to find ways to how we can, make a change. What is the, because all of us, we are all different, the way we deal with
Mm.
our emotions, the way we deal with losing someone. It's, we are all different. So it's not like, it's not going to be, okay, so if you went through mental health, you have to do this, this, this. No, it's more, okay, it's a real subject. Let's start a real conversation. And
Mm.
it would be great if we can speak about mental health every day, not just some month, let's say, okay, or this month we're going to speak about mental health.
Yeah,
No, I just feel like we need to speak about it every day.
because it doesn't just switch off, does it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's always there. Like, yeah. Mm. So like it's just such a hard thing. I was gonna say like I don't know. I think it's with like friends and that it's hard if people haven't like struggled with it or had it and they
yeah,
find it like really hard to like understand. But like you said, with like lockdown happening, I feel like more people are struggling a little bit because they're stuck inside. They just stare at the same four walls every day,
yeah,
and I feel like, but people, I mean, like I don't want to tell people what to do, but you should use that time to find like a new hobby or an interest, and then that could
yeah.
put your mind at it. Like basically, we started this podcast in like last year, but for some reason didn't pick up. Then we started it in the first lockdown, and now we're here. So yeah, I don't see an app for that. You'll need to. Yeah, so like so now we're here. Now we got like this sort of mini platform where we can do things like this and try and spread awareness for mental health and that.
Yeah, well, it's amazing, like I said, it's I think what you're doing, it's great. We we need something, we need more things like that. It's yeah, we need to.
That's what I was thinking. Like music and mental health are very close together without you even realizing it. Because if you
Yeah,
didn't have music, then you wouldn't. Then it'd be harder to express your emotions.
yeah,
Or like, say if you don't play anything or anything like that, then it's a lot. Then you still can still listen to it, and then you can try and resonate with that song or that message that the artist is writing
yeah.
about. And like people have their favorite artists or bands for a reason, and yeah, that's it really. So the documentary when's it going to be out? Do you have any like time slot, or is it just when it's ready? It's ready.
Um, well, I would love to have the documentary ready, like next year,
Mm,
around April, something like that, April, March
mm,
next year. It will be great. So if I could have, as many people as possible, who can donate and support the documentary, it will be great because, when you want to do something, when you want to do a documentary and you want this documentary to be broadcast on TV, it's going to cost a lot of money because there is
mm,
a team around, the lighting, the sound. Also, when I'm going to put my voice over, so it costs a lot of money. And the thing is, I don't want to be trapped. Um, like I don't want to do a documentary in with not like a great team around me, which means you need to have enough money to pay professional people around. So you know that your documentary is going to look and sound great. Otherwise, what can happen is you're doing a documentary and then when you want to present that to a channel, they're going to say, well, the documentary is good, but the quality is not that great. So we
mm.
suggest you to maybe trying to broadcast it on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And the thing is, I really want the quality to be as best as possible. So that's why I'm asking people. So that's why I'm trying to explain to everyone why am I asking so much money, because I know it's a lot of money, but it's because I want to have professionals, to do the documentary with me. Two is because then when it's going to be broadcast on TV, I want to send this documentary to every school in the UK. That's the
Mm.
idea. And then I want this documentary to be broadcast in other countries. And also then to send to all schools, because I feel when you are around 11 and 12, that's at that age that you have to start to have a conversation about what is mental health.
Mm.
Um, because we've seen so many teenagers taking their own lives. And I think if we can explain to them, okay, there is nothing wrong if you don't feel okay. There is
Mm.
nothing wrong. Just don't give up. You need to find someone to talk to. If it's not your parents, maybe it's going to be your teacher. If it's not your teacher, maybe it's going to be a friend, or maybe it's going to be your granddad, or I don't know, or your nan, but
Mm.
I just want to change the narrative, which is so many people struggling and they just feel like the only way to escape is to die. And so
Mm.
that's why I'm asking so much money, is because to do a real and professional documentary, and also to send this documentary to every school, for all the teenagers. So they're going to have it and they will be able to see it with their ed teacher. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
I just want something to be in place so we can have a real conversation. And
Mm.
that's why I'm asking everybody everybody to be, who want to be part of it. Just please
Mm.
donate and get in touch with me, and I will have no problem to explain to you what I'm going to do. And when people are going to go on the link on GoFundMe, I I took the time to explain everything, why I'm doing this documentary and why I'm asking so much money, because it's really to do something that is going to make a change.
No, that's really inspiring, and it's really good of you to say like to try and do something to make the world a better. But I was just thinking though, like when you're talking about sending it to schools now, I was thinking, yeah, they should probably start sort of like teach. Well, not you can't really teach it, can you? But sort of like have things put in place in schools where they can go, oh, I don't feel very good, and try and talk to someone, like, because school life is hard,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
secondary school with like people getting bullied and that. It's not a nice place to be if you're getting bullied,
yeah,
and it's just quite heartbreaking to see like kids that young age can go through it, but they don't know they're going through it
yeah.
because they haven't been taught what it
Mm-hmm.
is, and they just think, oh, they might just think it's normal, but like it is normal to have bad feelings, but like you shouldn't really be feeling that way at that age. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I mean,
exactly, yes, that's exactly how I feel. And I really want to make a change, Losing my brother was one of the
mm,
most difficult time of my life.
mm,
And I don't want anyone to go through this pain. It's just huge, and you
yeah,
just have to move on with your life. But it's very, very difficult. So I just want to, like I said, make make a difference and a change. But I believe I cannot do it by myself.
mm,
I have, and I know there was a lot of people, out there who care about mental health. So that's why I'm asking them, just donate whatever you can. If it's £1, then it's going to be £1. It's a £5, it's £5, But I, I'm really struggling to find the right, yeah, to find enough people to support the documentary. And
mm.
I know people care about mental health. So it's yeah,
Even though there is still quite a stigma there. I feel like it has got better though, like a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel like it's got um, more accepted into society, whereas as well as like the different like the like how people are with like LGBT and all that. I feel that's getting more accepted. Like they all sort of link together, don't they?
yeah,
Like with people's like sexuality and stuff. Like it's a lot more. I wouldn't say easier, but it's more accepted to be like go that way in today's society.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
I think I agree because I think now more and more people are talking about mental health,
mm,
but still, I think it's not enough. I'm afraid. I just think, yeah, we're speaking about mental health, but we can do better. We can do better. I think it's really about um, talking about mental health the same way you're talking about the weather.
yeah, yeah. Instead of asking someone, oh, it's I don't know, what's the weather today? You should be like, how are you today?
Yeah.
Like,
How is your mental health like? How do you
yeah,
feel? You know, do you feel, because there is a lot of people suffering from anxiety.
yeah,
So I think when it's going to be natural, you wake up, you having breakfast with your parents, and
mm,
your mom or your dad is asking you, oh, how is your mental health? How do you feel? You know,
yeah,
it's, I think it's going to be it's going to make a big difference if we can reach reach
mm,
that, you know.
yeah. I feel like you said, like with COVID and that, I feel people have begun to understand it more. That
Yeah,
it's not like selective, is it? It's like, oh, I don't feel very good today. I got bad mental health, but like, yeah, like now we're in lockdown again. More people are starting to feel like, oh,
yeah,
I miss my mates, I miss my partner, I miss doing all the things, I miss going to gigs, and I feel like people take those things for granted when we had them, and
yeah.
now they're like, oh, no, I really miss that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just so
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And I don't know about you, but me personally, the way I see the lockdown, yes, it's difficult,
mm,
but at the end of the day, it was also a way uh, for me to just, I don't know, just to take time for me and ask myself, okay, so I'm going to finish the album. So, but what do I want to do next? What is there is something that I want to change? Is there is something that I want to learn? Is there, you have more time for you right now. So you should use this time to do something that you like. Does it make sense? And
yeah,
and just taking care of you, of yourself, because um, when we used to have this life where we go, doing, working, and we, like you said, I think all of us might have took everything from granted, and now we realize, oh, okay, it's not like this. We really have to appreciate things more.
mm,
And I don't know, how do you feel about the lockdown? But me personally, it was more, I feel okay, my dad, my mom, they are not sick. I'm not sick. So even though it's difficult, that's how I
mm,
stay positive. Even though I would love to be on stage and to perform, but it's more about perspective. Okay, what is can I use that time to do something good for me? You
mm.
know?
Yeah. I was thinking like, yeah, obviously it's hard and that, but we're lucky, we live in a day and age where we have things where we can like create something or like watch, like we have Netflix and all that kind of stuff where we can,
Yeah,
take our mind elsewhere for a couple of hours. But
Mm-hmm.
if we had lockdown like before all this stuff even happened, like before we had
Oh,
all this technology, it would have been horrible.
oh yeah.
But
Can
we're
you
quite lucky
imagine?
to have it when we had it. When we have it.
Yeah, like without Zoom, without WhatsApp, without
Mm,
Facebook. Oh my God. Oh, could you imagine like if we didn't have like this sophisticated phone,
mm,
and if it was like without, it would have been so much worse.
yeah.
So uh yeah, I agree. I just feel, we are all in this together. We just have find a way to, just using that time to, do something that we wanted to do for so long, but we were thinking, oh, I don't have time to do that. There is, I'm sure people are now, they can find something they wanted to do for a long time, and now they have, well, enough time to do that.
Mm,
So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like with the way we restarted this again in lockdown because we couldn't think of anything else to do, and luckily it's paid off with how it's going really. So we're quite glad we did it, and we just like I think from like started it halfway through lockdown where we just like right, let's get it going again, and then we just did like podcast after podcast after podcast, and like it gave us something to like look forward to and try to have a
Yeah.
mindset on. So we weren't sat in overthinking, which is the worst thing for me because I overthink all the time,
Okay.
and I find that really hard. But yeah, and then we didn't really touch on like anxiety and that because that's that's hard because it's weird because anxiety is like it's like one thing, isn't it? But different things trigger different people. So
Yeah.
like say I'd be fine going on a bus, for example,
Mm-hmm.
but you might not be, or like my friend might not be. So that's really hard to think like,
Yeah.
oh, why can't they do that? If their anxiety is that bad where they can't physically do that little thing. But I feel like we don't appreciate people's little steps that they do as well. So like say as that person did get on the bus, that's like I said, that's little for like us, but for
Yeah.
them,
Mm-hmm.
that's massive.
Yeah.
I feel like that is as a society we should be really like applauding that really because it takes huge strength to do the little things that you can't think you'd ever like even think of doing and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree because it's like depression, when I went through depression, and I remember people asking me how I managed um, to fight this depression and how
Mm.
I made it through, and I said like we are all different, so I don't think, um, if I'm telling someone how I managed to do that, it's more about, it's me, I cannot say to someone else suffering, who suffer from depression, okay, I suffered from depression in the past, so you should do this. It's not that simple. But the only thing I said was more the effect of, um, I was trying to put, every day something that I would do. For example, if I'm going to stay, um, in my bed all day, the only thing I can do tomorrow is to take a shower.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is going to be the first step. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to take a shower. Let's say it's Monday, so on Tuesday I'm going to take a shower. Wednesday, still I'm going to take a shower. And then next week, I'm going to try to have another goal. Maybe I'm going to open the window. Does it make
Yeah.
sense?
No,
It's
yeah, it's all about
baby
the little
step.
steps. Yeah.
Yeah, it's baby step, and that's why I don't want to to say, okay, you should do this, this, and this. I'm just saying, like, if you try to have some goals, even if it's small goals,
mm,
it might be, something that could help you to, to carry on, because it's so difficult when your mind, you feel like there is no way, you feel like everything is dark, and so
mm,
it's not easy. But that's the thing that I've said, just trying to have baby step, and don't be too harsh on yourself.
no.
You have to be patient. It's not easy, but just trust yourself.
Mm. It's like the way I see it is like it's a little baby steps, but I see like you don't try not to look too far into like the future
Hmm.
because that's could be like really daunting and scary.
Yeah.
So like yeah, like you said, like little baby steps, like having a shower, because that's another side of mental health where you you can't even if you're that bad, you don't even want to wash or
Yeah.
clean yourself or take care of yourself. Like, I've been there.
Yeah.
I haven't showered for days and days, so just didn't see any point.
Yeah. And
And
it's
then,
it's difficult because you're like, well, but I need to, and you want to,
mm, you just
but
can't don't have the
your body,
strength.
yeah, but your body and your mind, you just feel like you're thinking of, okay, I need to take a shower, but it's just for you to get out of your bed. It's
Mm,
so huge. You think like it's not going to be possible to do that. So yeah, that's why I encourage people to just baby step.
mm,
Baby step. Like if you are able to, first step, to take a shower, and just do that. The only thing going to do in your day is just to take a shower. Then it's already a big win.
yeah, because like after you've done that, you could be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like
Yeah.
maybe try and eat something now because eating is another
Yeah.
big thing where like no, I'm too sad to eat because that is a thing I've been there as well where I just went no, I don't want to eat
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll just get really hungry and then like you said like it's the same with the shower thing like you need to shower but you
Yeah.
just don't have the strength to do it. It's the same with
Yeah.
eating like just no, just don't want to do it today. And
Yeah.
it's such a hard thing to deal with like just having just to be in that place where you don't want to clean yourself or eat. It's horrible.
Yeah. And you don't know, and that's why, when we spoke about, the reason why I wrote that song.
Mm,
It's I think there is, yeah, I think a lot of people can relate with my single, because it's really something that we all went through, something like that, when you you don't really know, you just, and it's very difficult for you to explain yourself when your friends or your family is asking you, okay, so just tell us, how do you feel? Just tell us what's going on. And you
mm,
just, well, I don't know. And that's why in the beginning of the music video, I I said to people, like, it's um, life can be so tough sometimes and cruel, and you can find yourself in a dark, very dark place. That's why when people are going to see, like, if they see my music video, I'm in a tunnel, because the tunnel for me was like, uh, represent the depression,
yeah,
the dark tunnel, and then at the end of the tunnel you can see the light. So that was the idea with the music video, and I know, because of all the messages that I received, that my song helped a lot of people, and I hope it's going to help even more people in the future, because it's you know uh, life worth living. We have to support each other, and yeah, I think that's it. It's really, to just open up and yeah, don't be afraid.
I think that's the thing. Like people have that initial anxiety
Yeah,
to speak out about their mental health because they're like, oh, what if they judge me for saying like I'm not feeling good? But it's weird because if someone, I always remember the day I told my mum, and she was really like taken back by it because she don't expect it because people can hide it so well, and I could be like come home like smile on my face, but inside it's just I
yeah,
wasn't. It's the complete opposite to what I was showing,
uh-huh,
and like that is like the thing because like I said earlier, like once you do tell someone, I do feel like you are on that path to recovery,
mm-hmm,
and that
yeah.
so like it's just really hard. And yeah, so with the album, when do you think that will be out, or is that gonna be around the same time as the documentary?
Well, the album is almost done, you know.
Mm.
I think there is, yeah, uh, let's say 4 or 5 songs that I have to finish, but it's almost done. And but what I'm really looking for is to perform on stage. But yeah, I, I'm thinking to release the album next year. So maybe uh, around the same time I'm going to release the documentary. I don't know, but yeah, I really want to release the album because it's a journey, you know, it's a journey, and I think because it's a lot of visuals, and I'm real, I'm authentic. It's going to be yeah deep, deep, but it's not going to be like um, sad songs, or you know, it's there is always a message of hope and to carry on and to fight for your life, and just don't give up when it's even when it's very hard. Just don't give up. That's the message, you know, in my music and on the album. So yeah, I'm really looking for it and also to perform.
Yeah.
So you know, but I will let you know, you know, I will send you tickets.
Amazing. Appreciate that. Yeah, for one, I really am looking forward to hearing it. Like the I don't know is a really beautiful written song with a very deep meaning, which we will put in the link below when this comes out. So I just want to say thank you for coming on. It's really eye-opening to see what you're doing. It's really inspiring. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
appreciate that. All right. So yeah, this is the Talk Night podcast. You can find all the links below, and we'll put a link for the documentary GoFundMe in the link in the bio as well. So thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.